Hello, Atlanta. This is Alan Devlin with Atlanta News First. Thank you for joining me here at the First Alert Desk. We're going to jump right into it tonight, talk about some of our top stories, or top story, I should say, because I really want to take the next several minutes here and focus on what has been our top story this evening, yesterday, through the weekend, all the way back to Friday of last week. And you probably know exactly where I'm going with this. This La Vista Walk fire has been something that has captivated our headlines and Atlanta's attention for the last several days because of the scope of the damage and the flames that was left behind on this massive apartment complex. I want to jump right into what we know now because things are continuing to change by the minute, by the second. Firstly, we've got this drone video. It's going to pan up over the apartment complex shot by our photographer, Eric Hurst. There he is flying the drone. That is the building, or at least what is left of it. And I'm telling you right now, unfortunately, it isn't much. So fire rescue and police tell us that this was a 3-alarm fire that started up around 10:36 on Friday. You can see the roof, the building, the entire building there is gone. It's at 1155 La Vista Road Northeast, and it's got businesses all over the place. You see all those buildings back behind it. It's got retail on the first floor, all of it devastated. The building itself is at risk of collapsing because of how bad that fire was. So the blaze started on the roof, and police say that it might have been caused by fireworks that were being set off on the rooftop there. There is no roof left, as you can see. So many people in all of these buildings, all of these apartments. If you didn't get hit directly with the fire, then you likely got hit with the smoke damage or the water damage or whatever is left behind from trying to put out something of this magnitude. 2 people actually were arrested in connection to this fire. I want to put them up on the screen right now. This is the first of those 2 people who was arrested for, again, those fireworks that police say were possibly the start of the fire. Robert Stokes and then Charnel Gunn are the 2. This is Robert, who's been arrested. He's charged with first-degree criminal damage, and then Charnel Gunn is the second, also charged with first-degree criminal damage. Those 2 right now in jail in regards to this fire. Thankfully, nobody was killed in this fire, which is really, really important and honestly impressive if you look at the damage left behind, because for them to be able to get in, get everybody out, and then knock down those flames as quickly as they did, a phenomenal job by our first responders. Look at this here. This is video of a little bit of that fire, but this is not the extent of it. It was bad. It was bad. Again, the 2 that have been arrested. And so the Red Cross has stepped in and is working to get all of the displaced people, over 20, I believe it might be 26, as high as 26 right now, that are displaced because of those flames and that fire. Non-life-threatening injuries around, but 1 cat actually did die in the fire, which is never good. They are slowly letting people into the building at this hour to let them collect their stuff. Anybody that necessarily doesn't have significant damage to their unit, any places that are stable, because the building is actually at risk of collapsing, as I said, because of how much damage it was. And they are watching it very closely, like hour by hour, minute by minute, to ensure that it doesn't actually fall. We've got crews out there right now keeping an eye on it. They're doing all of this very safely and securely as people go in, get their stuff, and come out. It's a good time to, brush up on your specific renter's insurance, because this is something you don't really know is going to happen until it happens. And then by the time it happens, it's too late. It's too late for you to actually start planning on what to do in the event of a tragedy like this, which is why preparation is so key. And I'm going to click over here, click on that. There we go. And so a reminder to all of you guys to brush up on your apartment insurance, your renter's insurance, see what you've got. $100,000 in coverage is what a lot of apartments require nowadays. That's personal liability, that's personal items, that's health, that's hotel, that's rental cars, whatever it is. Make sure you have all of that stuff, because if you don't, you're going to end up with some of the people here today at La Vista who are scrambling to figure out what they want to do with their lives, because everything they owned, everything they had, everything they knew went up in flames on Friday. But again, the most important thing here was that there was no loss of life. Bridget Spencer was one of our first crews out there on the scene for us that Friday and that Saturday morning. She's got more of what people in the area, the actual people affected, are saying about this mess.
Joseph Bambino has a passion for cooking up a hot breakfast for all who walk through the doors of his restaurant.
Come and enjoy some hot, fresh pancakes.
But his ability to do that was disrupted after a massive fire across the street at the Reserve at La Vista Walk Apartments. It triggered a power outage for his building.
Definitely lost a day's worth of business. There's about $12,000 worth of food in our coolers we're trying to get them to separate us off the grid or get us some power.
He's just one of the many affected by the disaster. The fire started just before 10:45 on Friday night and burned well into the morning hours. Tenants were evacuated, but the fire displaced dozens of people.
I thought it was not serious, so I just packed a little bit stuff on my laptop or iPad. But after 2 hours, I saw a big fire on the top of the Louvre.
Sal Hamid says at first he wasn't sure if the threat was real.
We treated it like we normally have our weekly occurrence of the alarm, so it was just like any other one. But then when we saw 10 fire trucks pull up, we knew something was wrong.
The fire also shut down a portion of La Vista and Cheshire Bridge roads. Thankfully, Atlanta Fire says nobody lost their life. The Red Cross is stepping in, even opening a shelter at Central Park Rec Center in the meantime.
I will have to definitely look through my options, but I do have a lot of family and friends that are nearby.
In Northeast Atlanta, Bridget Spencer, Atlanta News First.
And so he's lucky to have family and friends in the area. A lot of people just aren't, that's just kind of how it goes sometimes. So that's what I've got for you now here this evening. No weather tonight. Patrick Pete had to step out very briefly. He'll be back in a little bit to carry some of our weather at 10 o'clock on Atlanta News First. But until then, you guys have a great rest of your evening. You can join us at 10 and 11. And also, one of our brand new anchors, Blair Miller, is joining us here on Atlanta News First, something we're all very excited about. He will be on Atlanta News First at 11, accompanied by Sean Gables. You guys have a great rest of your evening here, and I will talk to you guys real soon. Again, my name's Alan Devlin from the First Alert Desk. Have a phenomenal night.